The youth putting governments on a corruption watch. Gen Z protesters have taken to the streets in several parts of the world. 3 countries currently in a way at boiling point due to anti-corruption movements driven by youngsters. Morocco, Madagascar and Peru. In Madagascar, protesters demanding the resignation of the country's president. They have now called for a general strike. The calls for sweeping reforms coming amid growing dissent and outcry over the failure of electricity and water supplies.
What we are demanding is the resignation of the president because we no longer agree with his policies, especially the suppression. We don't like it at all. The forces are no longer working to protect the population but to frighten it, and we are not afraid at all. Moreover, oppression is not a solution.
The demand has been raised after the leader sacked the Prime Minister and the entire government in response to demonstrations which have since turned chaotic and deadly. The students are joining in as well, calling for a complete overhaul of the system.
I think that this movement is the way to change the system. We need to rearrange things because it's this system that makes it easier for power to be monopolized by a certain group of people who only care about their own well-being.
Across several parts of Morocco, the youth clashed with the police on the 4th day of the protest. According to a human rights body in the country, authorities have arrested more than 200 protesters in the capital city. In fact, Moroccans have been demanding reforms in the sectors of public health and education. The latter triggered involvement from Gen Z demonstrators, while it is the death of 8 pregnant women in hospitals allegedly, which snowballed into public anger seen on the streets. The weekend in Peru's capital witnessed unrest as well. 19 people have been injured in anti-government protests. Thousands are out on the streets against growing accusations of corruption and extortion by the government. Heavy police presence triggered a standoff between the protesters and the authorities.
They're just standing there guarding. I imagine they've had their salaries raised so they can stand there and do nothing. Here they all gather bravely and stand united, but when it comes to crime out on the street, no. They're never there and they always show up late, which is infuriating.
Unrest on the streets of Peru increased after the president's government passed a law on September 5, which mandates contribution from young people towards private pension funds. The law coming at a time when the people are scrambling with job insecurity.